Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Words I Choose to Live By. I'm Cyrus Webb, joined by my co host, Tina Siemens. So glad you guys could join us on the simulcast on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and on X. Going to welcome those tuning in over on IG so they can be a part of our conversation as well. And last but certainly not least, going to connect with our friends over on Amazon Live. Have a great message for you guys. It is week number 43 of 2025, if you can believe that. That Tina and I were just saying this year is moving so quickly, but glad you all could be with us. And we're now live on the Amazon Live platform with Words I Choose to Live By. If you guys are new to us on Amazon, welcome. Make sure you guys do hit that follow button either here in this corner or down below. You also will see my book, but also Tina's books as well. We have a great message and reminder for all of you that we hope will be able to inspire you, but also encourage you. But Tina, how you doing?
I am blessed. Thank you so much for having me again.
Well, look, Tina, it is a pleasure for you to be with us as always. And I think, as I mentioned, this message is going to be one that I hope people really take. Again, it's week number 43. If you have your copy of my book, I have it highlighted for you guys on the Amazon side. But for those of you who don't have your copy on social media, you'll find the link there as well. The message is He wants what's best for you. And this ties in really perfectly, Tina, with our message we had last week, which
Mm.
I about God having our back. But this week, the message says this: You were created to be a living masterpiece. Your Creator shaped you the way He did for a purpose. He knows more about you than anyone else ever could. He wants nothing but the best for you, and you can have it, but you have to want the same for yourself. Now, this is and again, I tell people all the time, Tina, I write these messages first for me. And
Mm.
I think, as I've shared before, I have not always been a person who believed in myself. I still have problems with that from time to time. I haven't always been able to see the good that I've been able to do or gifted to do. But also, I have not always realized that good things can happen to me. And
Mm.
so I think this message, when I first was writing this, was a reminder for me, that great things can happen. I was created to do great things, but it was up to me to be able to make it happen. And that's why I ended this particular message the way I did. So, Tina, I want to ask you, how has it helped you to know that God created you for a purpose?
Well, the word living stood out to me in this
Yeah,
message.
yeah,
You were created to be a living. I
right,
I love that word because it's part of my museum's
mm,
title, Living Heritage Museum.
right.
But it is something that is breathing, that is happening at this moment. As we speak, living is the life that we were giving. And and then to be followed by the word masterpiece, that is something that, as you just said, you had struggled, and I have struggled in the past with believing that I could do things
Mhm.
that I was called. The doors would open in front of me sometimes, but I was afraid. I was not self-confident to walk through them. But once you do, even if it's with some doubt in your mind,
Mhm.
be that living masterpiece and walk through those doors when they open up, because that is when you will really discover what you were meant to be. And so for me to have experienced this, to know my identity, my purpose, is just been a beautiful journey, and it keeps unfolding.
Yeah, I love that, and I didn't even think about that at the time, Tina, when I was reading that. That of course, living would have stood out, stood out to you there. I think, and for those joining us on Amazon, you'll notice as Tina was talking, I highlighted her latest book, Post Oak. So you guys can be able to get it there. You can also see her other books there as well. Seminal, Some People Never Give Up, and also The Little Seminals That Could. But I have highlighted right now her latest book that came out, and that is Post Oak. And we're going to also let you all know how to stay connected with Tina as well. Tina, I go on to say in this particular message, though, something else that is so important, and that is that He, talking about God, wants nothing but the best for you, and you can have it, but you have to want the same for yourself. And this to me goes to where a lot of us sometimes fail, and that is the faith, but also the works. Because if we know that we've been created for something, it's just like I think about Noah, right? Noah was
Mhm.
created to be a savior of people, to save
Yeah.
people and animals, but he had work to
Mhm.
do. Imagine
Ex-
if he had that faith and never put together anything.
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
wouldn't have, it wouldn't have done him any good. So for
Mhm.
myself, Tina, when I think about this, is that okay? It's one thing to know I've been created for something, but I can't just
Mhm.
sit back and wait on it to come to me. I have to do the work, like
Mhm.
you did with the museum. You had
Exactly.
this vision, but you still had to put in the work. How has that
Mhm.
helped you to know, Tina, that what the things you want can happen, but you have a role to play in them happening?
Well, it is just evident in everyone's lives. If we don't put the work in, then the results will not happen. And just
Hmm.
by having the faith alone, without the work, it is dead. And so we need to put in the work, and for us to do so, we will see the results. It may not be instant, but
Hmm.
we will see the results because that's where faith comes in. We do put in the work and the fruits thereof, just like a farmer. He has full faith that he will have a crop when he puts that uh, to the eye, it looks like a dead seed in the ground. But then he waters, he fertilizes, he cultivates, and then the plant comes up. A rebirth is happening, but the fruit is still months away, and so the
Yeah.
harvest does not come. But if we do not plant in faith, then we will never reap the harvest. And so the harvest may even be something that won't be reached in our lifetime, but something that will continue the legacy that we have started and left. And so for me to just get started by faith, having the faith to put in the seed, put in the work, and then hope for the harvest, because the harvest will come. It
Yeah.
may not be 100-fold, it may be 50-fold, but that is the harvest will be the according to what we put in it, and what we allow God to use us, like it says, the masterpiece. I was reminded as I read the little children's song, "He's Still Working on Me." I think
Hmm.
all of us learned that in Sunday school. But one of the verses says, there ought to be a sign upon my heart that I'm not finished yet. He's still working on me, and I am created by the master's hand. So for us to know that we have the master working on us daily, that alone should inspire anybody to get started in their purpose, because that they don't have to do it on their own.
Yeah.
Ephesians says that I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. That is me putting in the work. By having faith, the harvest will come.
Love that. Such a great thing. Samantha Hoffman, hello to you over there from Chicago, joining us on IG. Once again, for those who are just tuning in, welcome. You all are watching Words I Choose to Live By with myself and my co host, Tina Siemens. We're discussing message number 43 from my book, Words I Choose to Live By. I'm going to highlight it for you guys over there on Amazon. Again, the theme is He Wants What's Best for You. And we've been talking about, Tina and I have been talking about being a living masterpiece and realizing what is possible for us, but also the work that is involved for sure. So, Tina, I want to throw it back to you then. So, what would you say to our audience in about not only remembering what they created to do, but also the importance of making sure they do it?
Well, so often, like it says, your creator shaped you the way he did for a purpose. And that
Mhm.
can be taken in several different ways. It can be in your physical form. How
Yeah.
many people with the social media today, how many people are truly happy with their physical shape?
Mm.
And then it also could be taken with their uh, talents, with their abilities. If we keep looking to somebody else, what do they have, and are envious of their talent, of their shaping that they got, it will hold us back. I remember a story years ago. A nurse said that she was very short and but very big built, and she always had a question like, "Why am I so big boned?" And
Mm.
it did not come to uh, pass, or she didn't see the purpose until she became a nurse. And she was working in a children's unit, and she would carry the children often. And that's when it hit her one day. I am built this strong so that I can carry the load. And I, for me personally, I'm 5'9", uh, always standing out in the crowd as the tallest person. But for me to accept my physical shape has been a struggle for me for years. But then
Yeah.
we know that God, the Creator, created us this way for a purpose. I was not chosen by this body, by my mom and dad, although it's their DNA, but your body type is perfect because it was created. And I have to remind myself of that every day. And especially speaking to the younger generation, you have Instagram, they have filters, they have all of these tools now that make people look really pretty. But is it really their living shape, their living body? Be happy with what you've got. God
Yeah.
gave it to you for a purpose. You may not know that today, but keep living and you will find that purpose of why you were short or why you were tall. One of the reasons I'm so tall is I don't have to go get a step stool for almost anything because I can reach the top shelf. But
Yeah.
those are the things you have to be grateful for, the small things, when you realize that there is a purpose for that. And so for me to encourage you, the listener, be happy, find joy, find peace in not only your physical shape, but also the tools and talents that you were given by the Creator.
Yeah. When you were talking, Tina, I thought about what my mom used to say to me because I am shorter. As you know, you and I met each other last year in North Carolina. My mom says, "Well, you needed something to keep you humble."
Yeah,
so,
that's a good one.
so my height
The
keeps
words
me
of mom's
humble,
wisdom.
right? So
Yeah,
no matter how tall I see myself, my my height reminds me of my limitations
yeah,
for sure. But it's such a great
that's
message. Again, everyone, message number 43 from my book. He wants what's best for you. Always remember, my final thoughts would be that you are created to be a living masterpiece.
it.
And for myself, Tina, what that reminds me of is there's always work to be done. If something is living,
Mhm.
it's always changing, it's
Yeah,
always moving. We're not set.
mhm,
So maybe
yeah,
you're not where you want to be today, but doesn't mean you can't get there because we're all, as
amen.
long as we're alive, we're a living masterpiece. We can continue
Mhm.
to evolve and to grow. And I think that is a great thing for sure. And I want you all to remember that. Again, everyone, you can get my copy of your copy of my book, Word That Used to Live By, here on Amazon. Tina, let them know, how can they stay connected with you?
Thank you again for the opportunity, and for those who are listening or will listen to the replay. May you be blessed and may your work continue evolving into the purpose that you were created for. I am on all social media platforms as Tina Siemens. I'm more active on some than on the others, but I would love to hear from you. Either email me at someoneowthebook.com or go to my website and contact me through there.
Love it. Well, Tina, another great message. Looking forward to our chat next week. And I should let our audience know we're gearing up for a break coming up in November. So you make sure you guys do know that. We'll remind you of that next week. But Tina, I will see you next week.
Sounds great. Thanks a lot. Have a blessed day, everyone.
Thanks. And you all definitely, thank you all so much for being with us for this episode of Word I Choose to Live By. Until next time, you all make it a great one. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.
Bye bye.